teams get ready to go. Shoot, promo, shoot, promo. Stating your opinion, are you serious, bro? Shoot, promo, shoot, promo. Talking about some wrestling for just a little bit. Shoot, promo, shoot, promo. Tagged explicit so we can say shit. Fucking shoot, promo, shoot, promo, shoot, promo, shoot, promo. Fight for your life, wait, fuck your life just for a prize. There is no prize, just fucking fight. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Shoot, promo, shoot, promo, shoot, promo, shoot, promo, shoot, promo, shoot, promo. I shot the promo, but I do not shoot the deputy. Shoot, promo, shoot.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are on internet land. Welcome to another edition of Shoot Promo, the only wrestling game show in the world. I'm your host, Red Reddington. We have another two teams of three wrestling fanatics ready to dissect, discuss, and dilute the past week of wrestling. So let's have a look at this week's teams. Team A this week have called themselves the Minty Fresh Mafia and are captained by the always minty fresh Mintzs.
Yeah, let's get two wings and a halo. A Chinese telephone.
Oh dear God. Okay.
Brilliant.
And of course he's accompanied by the biggest foreign heel in Shoot Promo history. It's Mr. JP.
Brought to you live from the internet.
He's here via internet. And of course everyone's favourite N64 game. It's Mr. Goldeneye.
I wanted to do a chalkboard behind me, just like how Woody Page would do on Around the Horn, but I remembered that I roomed with Jeff Hardy, and that if I showed it, then I'd probably be caught. On contraband possession.
Okay. Let's move over to the other team, who this week have called themselves the Not Jannettys, which are captained by ManicMisanthrope.
Still person who needs no introduction because you forgot to write me one.
Yeah, I haven't written you one yet. Hopefully we will get one written for you at some point. Creative has nothing for you at the moment. He's teaming up this week with possibly the bravest man in Shoot Promo history, the only man to approach the original neckbeard himself, Mick Foley. It's Mr. PX!
Keen listeners will note that I have never won a recent new series of Shoot Promo. However, the recent omens in wrestling with Daniel Bryan and John Morrison both breaking their losing streaks in recent weeks would suggest this week shall be ours.
PX seems to think he's going over this week. And of course, they're accompanied by the man who had many partners in Shoot Promo, not all of them sexual. It's Mr. WindowDump.
I came in the door, said it before. I never let the mic magnetize me no more, but it's biting me, fighting me, inviting me to rhyme. I can't hold it back. I'm looking for the line.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Okay.
20 out of...
Plus, we have an audience.
Well, I'm from the same state
audience.
as John Cena, so, you know...
We do have our audience. Thank you very much, JP, for reminding me. We do have our lovely studio audience who, as a whole, will boo, cheer, or chant whatever they want to. Hello, studio audience!
Hello!
Yay!
Hi.
Where's Cena?
I hate to see Cena.
Okay.
Cena our socks!
Let's
Okay.
go Cena!
Cena our socks!
Okay.
Okay, guys. Basically, let's go through the rules. The teams will attempt to answer questions about this past week in wrestling, as well as taking part in some more improvisational rounds. Along the way, they'll be awarded points for being funny, positive, and original, whilst having points deducted for moaning, groaning, and making sweeping statements that really belong on the Occupy WWE Twitter. Points be awarded and deducted with accompanying sounds. For example, if the team says something funny, they'll be awarded 1 point, which sounds like this. Hello. If they say something funnier, they'd be awarded 2 points, which sounds like this. And if they say something hilarious, they'll be awarded 3 points, which sounds like this. On the other hand, if they start drifting too far off topic or say something terribly unfunny, I'll deduct points, which sounds like this. So let's get started. Seeing as Occupy Shoot promo hasn't yet reached the dizzying heights of Twitter, we can start as usual with winners and losers. This opening round allows the panel to build up an early lead for their team by each of them telling us who they feel were this week's biggest winners and or losers. For example, they could say that this week's biggest winner was China for trying to get back into the WWE with a desperate plea on the Howard Stern show. You could also say that this week's biggest loser was China because let's face it, if Porno doesn't want you, no one does. Send us a tweet, we'll have you on the show. So that being said, teams, who do you believe are this week's biggest winners and or losers? Let's go to the Minty Fresh Mafia first. Mints, your winners and or losers.
There are 2 winners this week. One would be myself, the other one would be PX, because within the space of 48 hours, both of us met Mick Foley. I get my mask signed, PX, shat bricks, I guess a neckbeard, and, well, what can you say? It's great meeting them. Winner number 2 this week would be the Chicago pizza parlor that's going to be bringing back CM Punk's GTS pizza. I'm going to fucking enjoy that. The losers this week are obviously anyone with a set of eyes, because China has just received an award for mainstream to porn crossover award this week, and she's tickled pink.
She won an award? Oh dear God. Okay, I didn't know that.
Vivid that usually do, you'll get your 2 main ones, and one of them is Vivid. Vivid's, the Backdoor to China is going to get the mainstream to porn crossover award at the Fleshbot Awards on 2 days from now, Friday the 11th of November.
Dear God. Okay. Manic, tell us something else we don't know. This week's winners and or losers.
This week's loser is me, because now I have to go scrub my brain from the information Mintzs just told everyone. This week's winner, however, is John Morrison for actually getting a win, breaking his losing streak, which actually got noticed on WWE. This, of course, it should have been expected, because they obviously made this a losing streak angle, and WWE drops angles like they're hot potatoes.
That's very true. They're playing hot potato with a lot of angles at the moment. Let's play hot potato ourselves and throw it over to Minty Fresh Mafia. JP, your winners and or losers this week.
This week's winner is John Morrison for finally ending his streak of jobbing and, from what rumors are telling us, breaking up with his longtime girlfriend of Melina, which saves his career for even longer. This week's loser is Delirious for not being allowed to wrestle on his own show that he's a part of. Apparently the head honchos must have not understood him when he asked for some TV time and thought he wanted to book instead. But this kind of also explains the main event picture, because everyone's thinking he's saying push Eddie when he's actually saying push El Generico, and it's not working.
The idea of Delirious trying to say anything is hilarious. Let's go over to PX, your winners and or losers for this week.
Okay, so winner this week is still employed JTG, showing up on Raw this week. And not only that, but he was trending on Twitter after his appearance. And if anything would merit a push in the WWE this week, it would be that. Losers this week, I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to go with Del Rio for being pretty much buried by Punk in an angle on Raw also on Monday by calling him boring, the worst thing you can be called on WWE television. And the big story that came up sort of last week that faded out this week was that Beth Phoenix had stopped following CM Punk on Twitter, I believe was the story. And so there's rumors of a split between those two. Might upset Punk, but there's always another woman in the news with a clit dick, and that is China. I'm sure she's available to him.
Oh dear God. Okay, I'll let everyone else think of possible porno titles for that possible video.
There's no way that video could be straight edge.
Oh!
Wow! Let's go over to Goldeneye. Winners and or losers?
This week's biggest winner is John Laurinaitis because of the reason that Red said that China wants to get back into the WWE. Oh wait, just a moment. Actually, it turns out he's the biggest loser because whenever he ends up deciding to do so, he's in for a nasty surprise. This week's biggest loser probably has to be the crowd in the Raw show because they were promised Brodus Clay but never got him because they weren't considered sophisticated enough.
I just realised that my 1 point button is not working properly. I'm very disappointed. But you did score some points there. You did score some points. It's okay. It's not okay because...
No, but it's
built
my... Yeah, I built it.
Okay, let's hope that the button still works as we go over to WindowDump. Your winners and losers.
Well, this week's biggest winners are obviously TNA's TNA's television viewers, or should I say Impact Wrestling's television viewers, because they got one awesome match for the main event of Impact this week. Bobby Roode versus James Storm. It was really cool, really great match. Building up a lot of cool things. Unfortunately, the biggest losers are TNA's pay-per-view viewers, who were given a television quality match in the main event of the last pay-per-view, as opposed to this pay-per-view quality that the TV audience got in the main event. But, you know, as we all know, TNA's marketing strategy is to sell the pay-per-views in order to get people to tune into Impact.
Yeah, that is very true. They have a... I would like to say they have a bizarre marketing strategy over at TNA, but I don't think they actually have a marketing strategy or a marketing department for that matter. Let's have a look at the scores.
Their marketing department was Don West, but then they decided to remove him from wrestling and just gave him the shop area.
Wow, insane deals!
I'm going to give you a point for mentioning Don West. Don West should be mentioned more on this show. Let's have a
Oh
look at the
my
scores.
god, he just fell off the cage and now he's on the floor. Can you believe that? Oh my god.
The Pele out of nowhere! Oh my
I've never seen this before in my
Mick
life,
Foley
Mike!
just fell off the cage.
Okay, I've had
Did
fun.
you see
You
that?
selfish pig.
I feel like I should
Anyway.
Pac-Man everyone. Let's have a look at the scores. Currently in the lead with 14 points are the Minty Fresh Mafia, and trailing slightly behind on 11 are the Not Jannettys. Let's move on to this week's WWE round, which is all about Raw in the UK. So team, captains, who have you picked to tackle a round about Raw in the UK?
I have nominated myself.
Okay, and Mintzs, who have you chosen?
JP.
JP, and Manic.
Lovely.
Okay, here is your question. This week's Raw came to us from jolly old England, which, to be honest, wasn't all that British. Despite having Regal and Barrett on the roster, the closest thing we got to England was a Welshman who was covered in Ronseal. So teams, considering WWE is failing to address the first W, never mind the second, how would you have made this week's Raw more British? Let's go to the Brit himself, that's trailing slightly behind. Manic, making Raw more British.
Well, there are several ways you can make it more British. All cups of coffee with some tea, no sugar or milk, thank you very much. Talk about Wade Barrett more, as instructed by a Canadian. But probably the best way to make it British is racism. And we got a slight hint with Punk insulting Alberto Del Rio, but we need to go beyond that. We need to be really insulting. We need... Oh wait, JTG was already on this show. Bugger.
Okay, I'm glad that our main export is considered to be racism. Let's go to JP for an opinion from across the pond, making Raw more British.
Well, I have to agree on a couple things. You should talk about Wade Barrett all the time, or at least let him have one of the cameras. That way he can just hijack the feed. That way we can see him interview random people, because that's just hilarious. They really should have had Regal come out and do what he's been doing in FCW, because if he does what he does on FCW to basically anyone on the Raw roster, like, there will be no more Raw. Like, that will be the main event. It's just like, done. We can't watch it anymore. One other thing is that I noticed that there was a police box sitting at the top of the Raw ramp, and I'm surprised that they didn't invite Matt Smith and do some sort of Doctor Who guest host thing, which probably would have been extremely good, and probably would have involved Santino fighting a TARDIS, or not TARDIS, Santino fighting a Dalek, which would have been great, because seeing someone do the Cobra on a Dalek is great.
I would like to point out, first of all, that it was a phone booth, not a police box. I was going to Pac-Man for you, but you saved it by saying Santino Marella fighting a Dalek.
That would be a great way to fire someone, you know, instead of having them just future endeavored, have them get exterminated by a Dalek.
That is very true.
Well, I guess we've kind of tried to do that before with R-Truth, but that was more of an explosion.
Cena, you're exterminated!
There's a reason why there's an explicit tag, kids.
The audience can have a point. The audience gets a point for the exterminator. Let's have a look at the scores after the end of that round. Still behind on 15 points are the not Jannettys, slightly proving that they are. But still in the lead with 19 points are the Minty Fresh Mafia as we move into our next round, which is a new round this week, which is called Product Placement. TNA was hacked this week, but luckily their shop stayed up in order to promote Black November. WWE has also been releasing new items on their shop with a complex system where if you buy something, you get points to use in another sale. Why not just give people a sale now? So with this in mind, I have some categories for the panel to pitch some ideas to brand with wrestlers from any company. So, you know, WWE, TNA, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, whatever you want to go for. It's a free-for-all round, so anyone can jump in at any time. Your first product area to try and brand with some wrestlers is kitchen appliances. So, kitchen appliances. Any suggestions on who we could brand
Okay, I
kitchen
got one.
with?
Scott Steiner egg beaters. They're doing you an egg.
Excellent.
Jeff Hardy's corkscrews.
Steve
Vicky
Austin's
Guerrero's
beer can
fine.
opener.
Okay, there was like 3 people at once. Let's go for Manic first.
Vicky Guerrero ovens, guaranteed to not lose any heat.
Okay. JP, I think you were next. Go ahead.
The Stone Cold beer dispenser and beer opener. A combo set that tosses you a beer and you get it opened right over your face.
Okay, PX, I think you had one as well.
Mr. Muscle with Mason Ryan.
Okay.
One more thing. The CM Punk refrigerator. I hope you're putting your title belt in this thing because it'll keep it nice and cool.
No, their title in the fridge.
Okay. Okay, let's move on.
As vetted by Tommy Dreamer.
Okay, let's move on to our second area, which is frozen dinners, or as we call them in Europe, ready meals. So frozen dinners / ready meals.
Alberto Del Mio frozen meals. 0 heat guaranteed.
Brilliant.
Big Show's Thanksgiving dinner. Give me some of them peas.
Gobbledygooker turkey. Gobbledygooker turkey delights.
John Cena's Breffel dough cookie dough.
The Swagger Soaring Eagles American style ribs. They're all American.
Sound delicious.
Any more for any more? Okay, let's move on then to our third and final round, which was so popular in our test thread that we're going to do it again. Our third and final brand is condoms. So,
Hooray!
condoms.
Quick, upload the thread.
Gene Sinsky's, because it's never your fault.
Oh, son of a bitch.
John Cena condoms.
Guys, I gotta be right back. Someone apparently pulled the fire alarm where I'm at, so I shall return.
Okay, JB.
Just as planned.
It's just because, you know, he's never fucked anyone before, so he can't answer the condom question.
Of all the people to say that.
Ow!
Swerve.
Burn. Okay, sorry, WindowDump. Carry on. My God.
Yeah, John Cena condoms. So thin and so light you can't see them.
Undertaker condoms. You can come once, but then you can't come again until next year.
I'll allow one more. Go on. Any more?
Jeff Hardy condoms, perfect for smuggling drugs in your stomach with.
Oh! Oh, wow! Okay, let's bring that round to a close. High scoring round there. Currently in the lead with 27 points are the not Jannettys, who have just stolen the lead away from the Minty Fresh Mafia, who are on 26 points, but currently down a man. So let's have a look and let's move on to our TNA round. Luckily, JP's done his WWE round, so he's not needed for this. This week's TNA round is all about positivity, and it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So teams, who have you chosen to answer a round on TNA and positivity? Mintzs, who have you chosen?
PX.
What?
PX is our guy.
You're answering it anyways. Yeah, Goldeneye.
Alright, that seems fair. It's brilliant, brilliant tactic. Nick, who have you chosen?
PX.
PX, okay, you both chosen PX, but PX versus himself. No, GoldenEye versus PX. Okay, here is your question. So Occupy WWE has decided that it doesn't like WWE, but yet they still haven't come up with any good reasons why they are doing this or what they hope to achieve. So it seems like, there's a lot of holes in their colander of a plan. So in order to help them, this week I would like the teams to come up with some good reasons for watching TNA. In fact, I'd like them to come up with 5 good reasons for watching TNA. So 5 positive things about TNA. Let's go to those slightly behind. Let's go to GoldenEye first. Positive things about TNA.
Well, one is that you've got 2 Divas titles. I mean, the WWE only has 1 Divas title. Why have 1 when you can have 2? And why have just a singles title whenever you can also have a Divas tag team title? I mean, come on. It's the perfect title for any tag team lover. The second one is that you'll get to see the great Hulk Hogan in the ring again, brother. And considering that, he's actually turned face, it seems like a good time to start watching it or to continue watching it again. Another one would be probably all the high-flying action on it, considering you have the 4-sided ring, but it's pretty good. The fourth is that Eric Bischoff's son is the referee. I mean, where else could you find a referee who is the son of the general manager? I mean, come on, that's got to be a first. And then you've also got, a bunch of guest hosts that really don't show up on the WWE. I mean, you've got that guy from Jersey Shore, that other girl from Jersey Shore. Yeah, that's just about it. So, actually, you can also put it another way. You won't have as many guest hosts as Raw.
I think that's the ultimate positive, yeah. No, less celebrities. I have to give a point to the to the audience for Omega BR's comment, which was, "It's a good thing to put on during lovemaking, so you know she'll have to pay full attention to the task at hand." Okay, let's go over to Team B. PX, your 5 positive reasons for watching TNA.
I think TNA is a great show. I mean, you should be watching Impact every Thursday. Let me just take you through a couple of the great things you can see on Impact. First, you've got in the women's division, you've got Karen Jarrett, who rules the land. She's a good 5 feet taller than all the divas there, and it's really quite a spectacle to see. You've got in your world heavyweight title picture, you've got two beer loving dudes who beat the crap out of each other, and a world title finish which includes using a beer bottle. I mean, if you love beer, this is the show for you. Also, you get Scott Steiner. There's a full stop right there. You get Scott Steiner promos every week. Also, you get everyone's favorite part of Impact, the nepotism. I mean, how kind to heart is Eric Bischoff to push his son that he loves so much into the main event? He doesn't need any wrestling experience, and I'm sure if Nick Hogan gave two shits about wrestling, he'd be right up there too. And finally, Impact is the only place where you can see your favorite drug addicts get the pushes they truly deserve. You've got Rob Van Dam and you've got Jeff Hardy, both so damn strong. If you love beer, if you love drugs, if you love Hulk Hogan, this is the place to be.
I'd just like to say right now, if you are listening, Dixie, if you do use that as a promotional material, we're gonna sue. Okay, we're gonna sue you for everything you have.
What? All $5?
All $5. Let's have a look at the scores after that round. I think this is probably a first in Shoot Promo. We have a tie. 33 points apiece for the Minty Fresh Mafia and the Not Jannettys. It's getting exciting. We move into our next round, which is our free-for-all round, the Wrestle Recast. We missed Halloween last week. We fucked up. We admit it. So we're going to do the Halloween round this week. Since the release of the classic Halloween movie, See No Evil, that was released on May 19th, WWE has always been looking for a way into the horror market for a second time. So complete blank slate, new horror movie, new title, characters in generic horror movies, you know. So come up with a new horror movie, and well, not necessarily come up with the whole movie, but you know, just some of the characters that would be involved in that, played by wrestlers. So you know, the crazy person that warns everyone not to go into the haunted house, you know, the person who's actually the killer, the sole survivor, the first to go missing, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's a free for all, so anyone can jump in whenever they feel like. So horror movies done by wrestling.
R-Truth dies first.
The black guy always dies first.
How about a title of Cena No Evil, and it just replays his entire career from 2003 to now?
Daniel Bryan is the farmer whose cattle are always strangely mutilated, but one night he wakes up and finds that he's got the cattle locked in the cattle mutilation.
Which one of us was that?
That was WindowDump.
God damn, WindowDump.
Yeah.
I'm in tears. I'm sorry. Okay, carry on.
Sin Cara as the faceless murderer who accidentally murders himself at the end.
But in a complete swerve, they removed Sin Cara's mask. Oh look, it's Vince Russo!
It's like, actually, WWE beat me to this already with One Night in China.
John Cena as the Invisible Man.
Nickman as the Insane Driver.
Okay.
Oh shit, Nick shaving.
Rikishi is the backup driver.
He's doing it for The Rock.
Ric Flair is part of the ring crew. After all, how else are we going to get that amount of blood?
Rikishi's doing it for The Rock because The Rock is only there via satellite.
I was laughing so much, I completely forgot to mention that we did have a mystery answer for this round. But no one said it yet.
Oh, gee. Ooh.
I thought you already gave someone 3 points.
I did give someone 3 points, but this one was for 5 points. In
Sting has another kill.
Let's see. Santino as Snakes on a plane.
I'll give you a point for that, but no, that was not the answer. I'm going to bring the round to a close before I have a heart attack. We should have done this last week. It was so much better. Okay.
Yes.
The mystery answer was the couple that goes off to have sex could be Batista and Melina, or you would have also got a point for saying not John Morrison. So there would have been 5 points there if you'd said that. Which looks poor in comparison to all of our to the rest of the stuff you guys said. After that round, currently pushing into the lead with 42 points are the Minty Fresh Mafia. Slightly behind on 40 are the Not Jannettys. As we move into probably the most anticipated round this week, which is our general round, which this week is about juggalos.
Fuck
I never
juggalos.
thought I would say that on this program. This round is about juggalos. Having a look at who's left, we have Mintzs and WindowDump to tackle this question. This past week, the juggalos of who are the fans of the Insane Clown Posse have officially been classed by the FBI as a non-traditional gang. This would mark the first time This would mark the first time in history that a wrestling faction has been on the FBI watch list. Or is it? Are there any factions, teams, past or present, that were on the FBI watch list? And are they still under watch? Or were there elaborate wrestling plans to take them down? So, factions or teams that have been on the FBI watch list, let's go to those behind at the moment. Let's go to WindowDump first.
I think this one's pretty obvious. We all know that back in the 90s, G-Generation X was obviously on the FBI's watch list as a non-traditional gang. I mean, for starters, you had the New Age Outlaws, which I'm pretty sure are some kind of biker guys who don't care about the law and therefore are pretty evil as well. Plus, they've got an ass fetish, so they stole a tank. They drove it to WCW, apparently, and I believe they also spray painted their logo onto the WWE's corporate headquarters with stick-on vinyls, and then later they reformed and managed to get, of all things, children involved in their gang as well, which is incredibly heinous. What else? I think that's pretty much it. You know, they when they reformed, they had the whole fake military thing. We all know how much gangs love having the fake military thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I am quite worried about DX and children. I gave you a bonus point for using the word heinous, which needs to be used more on the show.
I'm pretty sure that China in itself constitutes being put on the FBI watch list.
Okay.
No. China's underwatched by the CIA.
You can have a point for that, JP. Mintzs is answering the question. Mintzs, gangs in WWE.
China is under watch by anyone that watches our shady porn movies. Yuck. Hunico, Primo, Unipico, as the new Mexican America, or those fuckers that are down in Mexico just now hanging people. The only thing that I can think of that was really a problem during the 90s would be the NWO. I mean, why would you do that? Do you want to send everybody that's got a tinfoil helmet into fucking a bizarre fit? Christ almighty. It's bad enough that fucking you have 3 normal guys that's supposed to be, they're the greatest in the world, and then you water it down so you've not become the NWO. I can only imagine that as the more people they got, it got to a point where they brought in Vincent, and then they just get dropped from the FBI list.
It's an elaborate plan. It was an elaborate plan all along, just to take down the NWO from inside. Let's have a look at the scores at the end of that round. Still in the lead with 48 points, Fresh Mafia. Slightly behind with 45 points are the Not Jannettys. As we move into our final round, which is spontaneous promotion, where the teams try and make up some final points before heading in to defend the indefensible. 2 members of each team will randomly select a wrestler, situation, and a wildcard by using the letters A to D. Bonus points will be given for good impressions and remaining in character as much as possible. It's not just about the voice, it's about mannerisms and stuff like that. Because wrestling isn't all about limo stealing, kiss flying, and jet driving, this week's wildcards have a mundane nature to them. Even the best wrestlers can take a situation such as sitting on the couch watching television with their fake actress wife for fun. Oh, sorry, I fucked that up. I'm going to do it again, okay? Well, you're going to have to edit
You sound
this.
like a robot.
Did I? I'm sorry. Hang on, let me just have a sip of water. I was missing a comma in there somewhere. Okay, let's do that again. Because wrestling isn't all about limo stealing, kiss flying, jet driving, this week's wildcards all have a mundane nature to them. Even the best wrestlers can take a situation such as sitting on a couch watching television with their fake actress wife into a fun for all the family brawl with sledgehammers and arrests from the fastest police in the world. So let's see if the panel can turn up the heat on some of the more mundane moments in life. So team captains, who have you selected to be spontaneously promoted? Let's go to not Jannettys first. Who have you selected, Manic, to be spontaneously promoted this week?
WindowDump, and I'm probably going to regret this later on, but I'm going to do myself as well.
Manic and WindowDump. Okay.
Fuck.
Cool. It's a great noise.
Confirmed for least points.
Let's go to Mintzs. Who are you going to spontaneously promote this week?
JP and Goldust.
Blocked.
Blocked. Okay, so Manic, you will be going first. You have free pick of the board. Your letter combination for this week.
To prevent me, I'll go for CBA.
CBA, God. Okay, this would mean that you are R-Truth. You should really be training for your match with The Rock at the up-and-coming pay-per-view, which makes sense. However, you are cutting a promo over the supermarket PA system. So you're R-Truth, preparing for your match against The Rock, but you're cutting the promo over the supermarket PA system. So whenever you are ready. No, I don't think you should do chance, but yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Manic, whenever you're ready.
The truth will set me free. Clean up on aisle 7. Wait a minute, is that The Rock? Is all the little Jimmies, all the people, all the little people, all the little Jimmies? Could you please come to customer service so I can kick all your asses?
What?
Don't say what over the PA system. I can hear you. I can hear you using the headsets. Who said what over this PA system? Is anyone here? If it's a spider. If there's a spider in this PA system, I want everybody here, all staff, call here to deal with this spider. And this ladder. The spider's probably up on that ladder having a tea party with little Jimmy. But anyway, what I was saying. Alright, The Rock. The Rock and your pie. Can we get the price check on these pies? Because I ain't stealing the pies. I'm a good truth. There's going to... Well, you're gonna get got, and so is that brand new sale we've got on the red light. It's free for the price of one. What do you say about that, Miz? I'm awesome. That's it.
Fantastic stuff. Great stuff. R-Truth working in a supermarket. It must be a conspiracy. Let's move on to JP. Your letter combination for this week.
DCB.
DCB. DCB. Okay. You would be the Miz. You've just lost a squash match the previous night. And you are stuck in traffic and yelling at the person in front of you to move. So the Miz squash match from the previous night, and you're stuck in traffic in your own time.
Really? 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 Not only did I just lose in a squash match to Zack Ryder, I am now stuck in traffic with this loser in front of me, and not only that, He's got a Zack Ryder bumper sticker. I didn't even know they sold those. I mean, this should not happen. I am greatest WWE champion of all time. And no one else can ever take that away from me, not even you, Cena. And there is nothing that anyone can do to stop me, especially this car in front of me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my car, I'm going to drive it right over his car, and the only reason that I'm gonna do it is because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome.
See? This is really good stuff, guys. We're getting some good impressions in. Let's hope we can keep it up. Let's have a look who's next. It's WindowDump. Your letter combination, please.
Give me a BAD.
BAD, a bad.
Oh, he's
Wow.
bad.
I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it.
Okay, BAD. Oh, good God. Okay. Oh, dear. There are some times when you write this show and you think, and then you read it the next day and go, what were we drinking? Okay. You are Paul Bearer. You are scheduled to win the World Heavyweight Championship tomorrow. However, you are standing outside a video game store waiting for a midnight release, and it's 0002, according to your watch, and you're trying to make small talk with the people around you, and at the same time being all like, why haven't they opened the doors yet? Can't they see it's like 2 minutes past midnight? Man, come on, open the door, man. Why aren't you opening the door? That's just terrible. So yeah, Paul Bearer, World Heavyweight Championship, 2 minutes past midnight, in your own time.
Man, what I wouldn't kill for RMD's Paul Bearer microphone switch thingy. Ooh! GameStop employees, I command you to open this door. It is 2 minutes past midnight, the hour of my Undertaker. And I need to get our 3 copies of Modern Warfare 3 so that we can get our advantage on it so that we'll be able to celebrate by winning the World Heavyweight Championship tomorrow. But I won't be able to do that until I get these games that we pre-ordered last year. So open the door before I get my cane and have him blow the doors up and send all of you into hellfire. Ooh. Or maybe I should go call Triple H and get him to bring a sledgehammer. No, wait, I'm beating him for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ooh. Hey, who touched my urn? Was it you, poor soul, who touched my urn? Don't touch my urn. I will pawn all of you noobs with my with whatever the new shotgun thingies are in the new game. It's really exciting. My Undertaker is looking forward to it. He hopes there are motorcycles in it. Ooh. Oh, ooh, what? Why is Metacritic saying the game is only 93%?
I like how that went from starting off as Paul Bearer and then just someone genuinely just saying, ooh. It's like Eddie. Great. I love Eddie. And last but by no means least, we go to Goldeneye, who gets this week's Slim Pickings. I'm looking forward to this. You are Michael Cole. You are part of the plot for the Montreal Screwjob, and you are just about to go over your role with Vince. However, you are at a drive-through with several other people, and you're unsure what to buy or what they actually sell. So, Michael Cole, Montreal Screwjob, and drive-through. So, in your own time, Goldeneye, take it away.
Hey, Vince McMahon, you know, it was really nice for you to take me out to lunch at this drive-through place. You know what? I'm gonna have a chicken sandwich. You know, that sounds really good to me right now. In fact, I'm gonna make a tweet on it. I'm gonna tweet that I just ordered a chicken sandwich from McDonald's. Oh, wait, we're at Burger King? Okay. A chicken sandwich from Burger King. Okay, I just tweeted it. Now, you want me to screw Bret Hart out of the title because he's leaving the company. Well, I think I'll be able to do that. You know what? I'll be the I'll be the timekeeper person that rings the bell. Yeah? So that whenever you tell him to ring the bell, I'll ring it. It's a foolproof plan. Hey, did you get a lettuce on that? You didn't? You know what? Send it back. You're worse than JR. Oh, look, my tweet about me ordering that chicken sandwich from Burger King is trending. Hashtag chicken sandwich. Well, you know what? It's going to be exciting. I mean, with this screw job, and now with this, me being JR in the Michael Cole challenge, this is going to be one of the best weeks of my life. And plus, I just got a chicken sandwich from Burger King. Hashtag Burger King. Hashtag chicken sandwich. Oh, yeah. This is probably one of the best weeks that I've ever had in my life. We get to screw over that nerd, Bret Hart, and then I get to screw over that nerd, Daniel Bryan, too.
Excellent.
Hashtag chicken sandwich is now a meme. Let's see if we can get that trending. Okay, let's have a look at this week's final scores. There is 1 point in it. Blame whoever
Damn
you
it.
like. This week's winner
Lost again.
with 60 points.
That's
not starting again. The Minty Fresh Mafia, which means they're slightly behind with 59 points, were the not Jannettys. So commiseration to you.
More like the Christians.
I know, it's terrible. But we still have one more round to go, which is Defend the Indefensible, which is where we find out who is the true champion of Shoot Promo within this week's winning team. The team captain will assign both himself and his teammates with a letter A, B, or C. Each letter corresponds to a statement with which no wrestling fan could defend, but they will have to this week for 30 seconds. The person that defends the statement the best will be this week's winner. The players, however, will be judged by the defeated team, the Not Jannettys, who will send me their votes this week rather than reading them out. I will calculate the votes. If there is a tie, I'll cast the deciding vote, and we'll have a Shoot Promo champion. Okay, so I've forgotten who the team captain is. Good God, where's my piece of paper gone?
It would be Mintzs.
Oh yes, it would be Mintzs. Mintzs.
You always Minty Fresh.
The always Minty Fresh Mintzs. Oh, there's my piece of paper. Hello. Mintzs, who would you like to assign what this week?
JP, A.
Uh-huh.
Goldeneye, B.
Uh-huh.
Myself, C.
Would you like fries with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so you have 30 seconds to defend statements that no one could possibly defend. JP, are you ready?
Well, considering I shouldn't ever be ready, my body's ready.
Okay, here we go. Your statement this week is Shaggy Too Dope should win this year's Luthez Award for Best Wrestler of the Year. The time starts now.
Well, of course he should win that award. I mean, he's been working on the scene for the past 10 years. It's about time he got some recognition. I mean, he's already got recognition from the FBI for being on the watch list with the rest of his Juggalo friends. I mean, just being the multiple-time Juggalo Tag Team Champions and being able to go in and just have a pretty decent match with almost anybody that's on the independent scene, and even jobbing on Raw, they're pretty good. And he's been doing really good at it. And plus, his rap albums aren't bad either.
Okay, let's go to Goldeneye. Hope the other team is listening. Goldeneye, are you ready?
My body is ready.
Okay, your statement that you have to defend is Kofi Kingston's teammate replacement for Evan Bourne should be Mason Ryan. Your time starts now.
Well, of course it would be Mason Ryan. I mean, really, he's probably greener than Evan Bourne anyways, and plus, I mean, look how over he is. I mean, did you hear the British crowd booing him? You know, whenever he announced that he was from Wales, I mean, he's freaking over as fuck. I think they could do an international face tag team with a guy from Jamaica or Ghana, whatever it is, and a guy from Wales. I mean, it'd be a perfect combination of high flying and powerhouse.
Slightly went over there. I hope the Jannettys take note of that. It was a little bit over the time there, by a second or two. Okay, and finally, Mintzs, are you ready? I just read what you wrote in the chat. We're gonna be greener than goose shit. Okay. Your statement this week is: John Cena's next t-shirt should be bright pink and incorporate My Little Pony. Your time starts now.
He said every other single colour, so why should it not be pink? He can just, see instead of him doing the whole thing where he does You Can't See Me, he can walk around the ring and pony fist all the little Jimmies in the crowd, or bro hoof everybody in the crowd, and it shouldn't be, what is it again, stronger than hate or something? It's like, stronger than brony. It needs to be something completely retarded.
Always a spare time. Always a spare time. Okay, so Manic, PX, and WindowDump, if you can send me a text line of text, just message me privately who you think should win, and I will calculate those up. I have one in so far. WindowDump. I'm just waiting for.
Well, you see, Red, I tweeted it to you.
You tweeted it to me. For God's sake, doesn't mean I have to go to my direct messages and find it. I haven't got. It's not in my direct messages, man.
Check your mentions then.
In my mentions, what's going on? Oh, okay, right. Okay, right. Well, this week's winner, it's a 2-to-1 split vote in favour of the Minty Fresh Mints.
How the fuck did that win?
Congratulations, Mints. You are this week's Shoot Promo champion again, I believe.
I was last time.
You were last time, but you're first.
You were
last
time and first 2 weeks ago.
So it's good. It's all gravy. I'd like to thank this week's panel, which of course consisted of the new Shoot Promo champion, or still Shoot Promo champion, the always Minty Fresh Mints.
No.
Greener than goose shit. Fuck you.
The biggest foreign heel in history, JP.
Freaking racism.
Yes, it was racism. Goldeneye.
Drugs doesn't ruin Evan Bourne's career. Drug tests do.
Fantastic stuff. ManicMisanthrope.
I need sad music right now.
Sad Hulk music.
Oh, let me play you a song on the world's smallest violin.
Excuse me while I call CM Punk's Marachi band.
PX, who is buried once again.
I'm not on drugs. I am drugs.
He's over 5. And the man who's always last, WindowDump.
Well, I was going to start reciting lyrics from Buggin' Out by A Tribe Called Quest, but I actually looked at the lyrics and they make no sense.
So they're TNA lyrics.
Thank you very much to everyone. Thanks very much for everyone for listening. Always, of course, follow Shoot Promo at Shoot Promo Show on Twitter, and also facebook.com/Shoot Promo. I was your host.
Hold on. Just 1 minute here.
Oh shit.
RMD, hi.
I saw what you did there, Mr. Reddington, and I gotta say, that was pretty clever of you, trying to pull a fast one over everybody here in the Shoot Promo studio, everybody listening out there in the internet land, and I gotta tell you, you almost had it right. See, not too many people know about this yet, and I want to advertise something else right here. It's called OWOO. That is OHWOOO at Tumblr, right? Now, this is a little collection of all the things that go on in WoW, little highlights, lowlights, things like that. But a particular article came up there just last night, in which Red Reddington, our esteemed host of Shoot Promo, decided that he was going to assemble a team for himself on the Christmas episode of Shoot Promo. And now this just wasn't any team. No, he got himself Mafia of Botchamania fame and from Figure 4 Wiki, Brian Alvarez. And he's going to be putting together this team against everybody else on the Christmas episode of Shoot Promo. Now, I like what you did there with your black sweatsuit and your grapefruits and your ECW championship there, putting yourself and two other guys against the rabble of Shoot Promo. But you know what? I'm not going to let your ego take this show down a peg. I'm not going to let you and your colossal, oh, look at me, I've made an internet show and I'm a limey and I've got jam. People, look. This isn't happening. Not on my watch, not on anyone else's watch. Red Reddington, you and me, Christmas episode Shoot Promo. Bring your Matthew, bring your Brian Alvarez. I'm going to bring in two of Shoot Promo's finest, and I'm going to prove it to you. This show isn't you. This show is all of us. You can bring your ringers in. You can bring your ego in. You can bring in whatever the hell you want. I swear to it. I am going to take you down and I am going to show you that it takes more than a couple of internet celebrities to bring home a championship. And it's going to ruin Christmas for you, and I'm sorry. You're just going to have to deal with it, sucker. And, you know what? Sorry about that. I kind of mentioned the ego thing there. Speaking of Red's ego, I want to tell you a little story. See, just about 3 months ago,
Mintzs!
we